Good evening, everyone. It is April 10th, 2023, and you know what? I thought about just doing the ES for this one, but I think I'll go ahead and speak both to the NQ and ES in one video just because I'm seeing some correlations here that are hard to ignore. Now, let's just focus on the ES for a second. You can see I have that 40.99 level as a pivot this week, and above there I was looking for us to be hyper bid, and I think we saw it quite well, holding for a third time, 98.75 the low of the day, so about one tick off, and getting our move back to the quarterly high, back to last week's close, etc. Last week's VWAP close, all sorts of stuff around there, and now I think we're looking to head a little bit higher. This is now the third time that we've held this 4100 area, and sellers just repeatedly are failing. So when you get that, it to me indicates not really an intensity of buying, but to me it more so shows that there's a lack of sellers pushing this thing down hard enough. So intraday, I will not be looking to get long really below that kind of 41.25 number. The thought being is that, on the fourth try, I think sellers will finally be able to break it. And if they do, we might have that emergency bid scenario down at 82s where we look down below, come back above 4100s. That is a scenario. Otherwise, I think we start looking down towards lower levels, 40.65, 54, stuff like that intraday. Now, the reason why I think that we're also going to trade higher, and I want to pull up the NQ chart for a second here. Let's pull up the weekly chart on NQ and go to my 2-hour chart here. You can see that we sort of held that 13,000-ish area, once again making another double bottom. Notably, that's also right by that February high of the month, that 950-ish sort of spot. Anyway, we held that. I had 969, the area of trapped shorts from that Thursday session. We hit that point of control perfectly and ramped up, getting back inside last week's -2 standard deviation of VWAP. Now, we got back above the quarterly 95% value area highs, right around about 102, 108, 110 kind of number, and we are now in that same hyperbid position, closing NQ, much like ES, back at its weekly close, back around its weekly VWAP close, all sorts of stuff like that. Now, the difference on ES and NQ is that, unlike ES, where the quarterly high came in at 41.41, or if you want to call it last month's high at 41.41, which is where we're roughly trading now, on the NQ, we've got room to about 13,010. So it's a little bit of a different story on the NQ. And last week's point of control, likewise, is way up here at 31, I believe. 231 on NQ, whereas on ES, we already hit it, and we're actually trading above it. It was at 41.31. So I think on ES, in terms of balance, and we can revert back to this February outlook to kind of see it, we've got this sort of balance, roughly something like this from February, and you can see that we're matching it now during April. So to me, we have room to the upside for this balance. And if you want to use NQ as an aid, I think NQ has room to go up to that point of control, that weekly point of control from last week, if not that monthly high from 13,012, 112, sorry, 312. NQ, big numbers. So to me, we have room to the upside on ES in terms of balance, and then we have room to the upside in terms of where the prior week's point of control, where the quarterly high is sitting, and all sorts of stuff like that on NQ. So how am I going to be playing this? Let's talk about this for a second. Let's go to the ES here. I'm not interested in longs, like I mentioned, below about 41.25. If we open below 21s, kind of this area of support, that was our critical resistance during this huge Friday ramp, and we've seen it be a nice level. So if we open below that kind of 22 number, I will be looking to take 28 short, the idea being that we had a nice distributive point of control going into the close, and then I'll look for us to have our sellers step in and come back down towards our VWAP close at 41.16.5. I don't want to be bid here, just again because it is a third attempt at the lows, and I already tested my luck today once on taking O2s long, so I will not be testing it again. If we do get a gap up scenario, I'll be getting long at 32.5. I may end up changing that number. It might end up being 28. I'm not too sure yet. And then I'll be looking to take 57s short. Why? Or actually, not even 57s. Let me edit this for a second. Let me pull up this ES chart here. There we go. This is actually what I want to be doing. I want to take 55.5 short after a tag of 57s if we open above 27s. I know quite a few qualifiers. Well, why? Well, we had this nice auction happen on Tuesday's session, and we auctioned hard and then sold off hard. So to me, we have some trapped buyers up here, and that's what that 57.75 represents. It's just the point of control from this area of this auction. And then 55.5 being that prior week's 95% value area high. So what I want to see are sellers stepping in at that prior auction, come back inside where the majority of volume traded last week, and then get short for a move, back towards about 41 or so. So that's what I'll be looking at on the short side. Again, I'm doubtful that we break last week's range. If we do, I'll be short 70 after a tag of 75. I'm looking to get short some upper levels. However, I do not think we'll be getting that scenario tomorrow. To the downside, getting long for that look below and fail, 82 and 88s, 65s, 54s. I don't think we'll be trading those, although tomorrow either. I think we'll largely be looking at something like this for tomorrow's trading. On the NQ, pull this up over here. Same idea, not looking to get long, really below about 13,100. I know there are some nice levels here. However, I don't want to test my luck here. I think we can go down to 909. If not, the price gap close way down at 732, so not really interested in much. If we do open lower, I will be looking to get short at 147.75. The idea, similar to ES, is that we have that point of control shift late in the day, and if we do open down below there, I think we can get I think that'll be evidence of some distribution. We can get a move down lower, and much like ES, that will be before we tag the VWAP close, which I believe comes in at 69.25. Yeah, 69.25. So before the 070 tag, roughly. To the upside, getting short at that prior week pocket, 231, and then getting short at that quarterly high at 311, where we also had a nice auction on Tuesday on the NQ. So similar ideas on both tickers. They're trading a little bit different relative to some prior structural references, so I think we do have some room to the upside on NQ if we do open on a gap up scenario. Similarly on ES, just kind of following NQ there. So, long video. Hope that helps. I'm sure there will be updates to this pre-market per usual. Other than that, have a great night and trade safe, you guys.